Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here today from the Modern King. Woman commits paternity fraud and instantly regrets it. So if you don't know what paternity fraud is, it's basically women lying about who the original father of their children is. So, you know, another dude comes in, he looks after kids that are not his own. It's completely disgusting. DNA testing should be mandatory at birth, but nevertheless, let's jump in.
The fact that she felt comfortable posting that on social media shows the state of our society.
So she says, me watching him love the babies that I had with someone else like they're his. Guys, don't be this man, okay? Don't be out here saving these individuals, looking after kids that are not your own, okay? You will go greatly underappreciated. Let me tell you that. It'll be a terrible experience for you.
Fraud should be treated like a real crime, rather than an accidental mistake on the mother's end.
Sitting out here struggling to get this in my car. Men are walking back and forth. No one is trying to help me. They don't make real men anymore. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not all men, because there are good men out there. As a woman, like, you don't see men holding doors anymore. They don't help anymore. They rush and sit down on trains and buses before women and pregnant women and elderly are sitting down. It's just a hot mess out here.
Men are not obligated to do anything for you or help you. That was a privilege you had and lost when you decided you wanted to be treated like a man.
I mean, here's the thing. Why should the men help you? Right? Oftentimes when men do go out here and they do help women and they do help society and things like this, they just get treated like crap for doing it. Oh, why aren't men opening my doors? Why don't men ask me out on dates? Okay, but the fact of the matter is so many men who have engaged in this behavior, they get treated like absolute crap for doing it. Where have all of the good men gone, right? As you say, as you've treated the good men like crap a great many times.
I want to speak to the women out there. You tell me if you think this is fair. I'm 40 years old. I married this woman when I was 33. After only knowing her 7 months, and no, I ain't getting no prenup or none of that, but she didn't have nothing. Me, I had a $1.5 million house in Hoover, Alabama. Me, I had the Mercedes in the driveway. I went to law school. I was the one up studying all them late nights. Didn't even know who this woman was back then, right? Now, you mean to tell me it took me 40 years to make all this, and this person who I've only known for 7 years, won't have of everything?
It's not.
Yeah, see, this is why dudes don't want to get married. Okay, is they can put in so much time building themselves, building their careers. They finally own a home. They get the car that they've wanted. They've gone to some school for many years to go in a particularly difficult field. Whatever the case may be, right? These dudes, they work really damn hard to build up their lives. And then some woman who had nothing now wants to come along and take half of his crap. Absolutely not, man. This is why a lot of dudes are not getting married, because you have women out here these days treating it like it's some sort of retirement plan. They're not getting married to dudes because they love them or because they want to build a successful, happy family, despite the fact that they might say this, right? They throw away the husband and now the kids have to deal with a split family. They're using this as an opportunity, as a means to get money and resources from the dude. So to me, guys, it's really no surprise that a lot of men are just completely opting out of this.
Not fair, but since it's a man that has to deal with it, it's not a problem, and nobody cares. I guarantee, if the courts treated women like they treat men, all we would hear is how unfair and sexist the court system is. But since it's men that are the ones that get treated unfairly, it's not seen as a problem or a big deal, and they should just man up and deal with it.
I personally hate it when people are like, oh, men's mental health, oh, men are afraid of being emotional. Because it's not that men are afraid of being emotional.
So what is it they're afraid of then?
They're afraid of being a woman.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite it.
Men are afraid of showing their emotions because they're socialized not to show emotions in public, which is true. But I don't think they're afraid of showing emotion.
And why is that?
Because men show emotions all the time.
Can we have some examples?
they're more likely to express their anger and lash out. Like, those are extreme emotions. So it's not that they're afraid of expressing emotions. It's that as a society, we have labeled certain emotions as feminine. So emotions such as sadness, like tears, or love, like caring for others, those are considered to be feminine traits. And those are the emotions that men reject.
Let me tell you why men are not emotional with you and they don't open up and they hide their emotions from you, okay? Is because you use men's feelings against them. Men cannot be vulnerable with the majority of modern women these days, guys, because women weaponize this crap against dudes. That's the truth of the matter, okay? It doesn't mean that men don't get sad or that men don't have feelings, because men certainly do have these things. They just don't want to talk to you about them. Because number one, you don't help. And number two, these women oftentimes weaponize men's feelings against them. Okay, so dudes just don't bother talking to you about it, right? They really, really don't. Also, a lot of the men that these women are chasing, who they want relationships with, they're not scared of commitment, for example. They just don't want to commit to you because you're not wife or girlfriend material. That's the way it works, okay?
I don't believe it's rejection of those type of emotions. It's more like men oftentimes know the proper time and place to express such emotions, which is usually in private.
Because they don't want to be feminine, because the worst thing they can be is a woman.
It has nothing to do with being perceived as being feminine. It does, however, have everything to do with being perceived as showing weakness, which has nothing to do with being feminine, unless, of course, one is trying to equate femininity with weakness.
So when people are like, we should teach men to be more vulnerable, we should let them be more emotional. No, we should teach them to stop hating women. It's all about that.
Talk about missing the mark. It's really not about men hating women, because in fact most men don't, and that's not the reason why most men choose not to express their emotions in public. It's because they have been taught to always be strong, so most men choose to express their emotions privately.
Wait. So this woman's rationalization, let me get this straight. This woman thinks that because men don't show their emotions to her, that somehow that means that we don't like women. That is a crazy rationalization to get to that, right? These people, they overthink absolutely everything, man. The reason why men are not emotional with you is because they don't want to be. Quite honestly, it's not safe to be emotional around you. It's not safe to be emotional around a lot of damn women these days, guys. It really absolutely isn't. Men learn this from quite a young age, to be honest with you. You know, they learn to just shut the hell up. Nobody cares if some dude's crying, okay? You know what I'm saying? You go through a rough period as dude, or you go through some very difficult situations. A lot of guys, you know, they grieve in private, for example, or they handle their business in private because, you know, dudes crying, there's nobody, number one, nobody cares. And number two, it's just used against them. Okay, women are the ones these days who, if a woman goes out there crying, oh, I'm sure she'll get tons of sympathy and people giving a damn and stuff like this. It's not the same for men, right? There are oftentimes very few people that men can talk to, and also very, very fewer people that men can talk to that are actually safe people to talk to. These people say, oh, we got to let men be more emotional, and men need to do this, and men need to do that. Stop telling men what they need to do, and maybe they would talk to you, okay? Craziness, man. Absolute craziness.
A woman's value that she adds to a man.
Oh, hell no. I'm skipping this clip. I don't want to hear it, man. I'm not in the mood to be yelled at. All right, what's the next clip here? Holy.
Not all that. Oh my, watch out. Be careful, be careful.
Be careful about what?
Be careful. Stir. More. You're going to let it burn. Stir.
Stop it. I'm making sausage.
Put some more oil. You need a little bit of oil in there.
You know how to make sausage?
No, put some oil in there. A little bit of oil.
I already put some in there.
Put some oil in there.
I already did.
Put some oil in there. Too much. That's way too much.
I didn't even get anything
It's going to be greasy now. Way too much oil. Stir.
Okay,
Stir. You're going to burn.
I am stirring
You're going to burn.
it.
Some pepper in there. Need some pepper in there.
I do that later.
Put some.
I don't know about you guys, but to me, she's sounding very angry. She's sounding very hostile. She's sounding very dangerous. You know, I think maybe she should check her emotions a little bit here, right? Because it's starting to get a bit unsafe for the man, to be honest with you.
Pepper in there. Oh, it's too much pepper. Oh my God. Too much.
What are you doing? Why are you in here?
Because you just need to listen. And why are you not stirring? You're gonna mess it up.
Baby, you're making me nervous. Why are you doing this?
I don't know. Why don't you listen to me when you're cooking? You're gonna ruin the whole thing.
I'm not cooking. Not you, me, I am. Why are you doing this?
Because I want you to know what it feels like when I'm driving.
Are you serious? Get out of here.
Oh, this one's going to ruffle some feathers, but I'm going to be completely honest.
So what I'd like to know, in this dating world for people like over 50, like, have men just kind of given up with the trying to date and the courting and all that?
The short and sweet answer to your question is yes.
Yes. I totally agree. Man, this guy's hilarious. His chat, what's his name again? I think it's Men Need to Be Heard. I've seen him popping up a few times recently. Hilarious guy, pretty damn accurate from what I've seen. So he's responding to this woman here. She's over the age of 50, man, and she's trying to date, and she's asking what happened to the traditional behavior. Yeah, traditional behavior that men gave to women was typically reserved for women who were traditional. Have you guys ever noticed how it's always the women who are completely untraditional who are asking where the traditional behavior went from dudes? You see what I'm saying? It's always the ones who are like dating over 50, or they're like single mothers, or they've just been with a whole bunch of different dudes. Maybe they've got an OF account or something like this. And they're the ones who are like, man, what happened to all the traditional men? Right? This is actually starting to bleed over actually into pretty much every woman is adopting this now. They're sick of dudes. They're sick of dudes not participating, right? Not courting, not doing the things that men are supposed to do, apparently. But I don't think men should be doing these things for a lot of women these days, to be honest with you. This is why dudes are traveling. They're leaving Western countries. Why would a dude want to be traditional for a woman who's still trying to find her Prince Charming in her damn 50s?
The courting and all that.
The short and sweet answer to your question is yes. Yes, they have. They've given up. They're done. They're walking away.
Is it so bad out there, like, that you guys have just given up?
No, bad doesn't even begin to cover it. Toxic? We could start with that.
Because, like, everybody I talk to says they go out on a date, and if the guy's buying dinner, then by the end of the night, he's saying, well, like, if I buy dinner, then I expect to have sex.
And there it is. Everybody you talk to. My gut feeling is, and I think it's obvious, everybody means women. Not men, women. And you're making assumptions based on what women are telling other women men are thinking, instead of listening to men.
First of all, as if, motherfuckers, like, that ain't happening.
And there's that toxicity I mentioned earlier.
You know what's funny? These videos, man, like these women are so damn annoying. So this woman started off by complaining, why don't men do traditional behaviors? Why aren't men putting in effort? I tell you what, guys, I blacked out for like 30 seconds. I was just not even listening right there when she started talking again. So imagine how the men who go on a date with this woman feel. I can't even listen to this woman over a damn TikTok video without tuning her out because I'm already annoyed, right? So imagine the dudes who decide to go on dates with women like this, man. This is what I'm talking about, is these women have absolutely no capacity to keep a man for the long term. They're just not pleasant to be around at all. I'm actually going to have to wind that back and listen to that one more time because I don't even know what the hell she said because I wasn't listening. So let's take a listen.
That doesn't even begin to cover it. Toxic? We could start with that.
Because, like, everybody I talk to says they go out on a date, and if the guy's buying dinner, then by the end of the night, he's saying, well, like, if I buy dinner, then I expect to have sex.
Correct! Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public, so make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode. Right, so she's saying that dudes are only taking her out because they want one thing. You know what? I actually typically agree with that. I think a lot of these guys are not looking for a long-term relationship from you. Right, and I don't think a lot of guys are a bland, like, they're not going to come out and straight up say this to you. They're not going to say, hey, I bought you dinner, so hop into bed with me. You know, I don't think dudes are that direct. I mean, maybe some are. But bottom line is, I think she's actually correct here. I think a lot of guys are not looking for a relationship with you. They're not looking to start relationships with women who are 50 plus years of age. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, dudes will sometimes, they'll buy you dinner or they'll just want to hang out with you, but they don't want anything serious. I mean, this is par for the course when you return to the dating world when you're 50 years of age. I don't know if this woman's divorced. I don't know what her exact situation here is, guys, but a lot of women who are in this age bracket, the reason why they're dating is because they've ditched their man. You know, they've opted out of the marriage. They've opted out of that through thick and thin till death do us part. And they want to return to the streets when they're in their 50s. But, you know, the streets are a cold place and they don't want to be there forever and they need to get commitment from a man. And a lot of them can't do it. So I think she's probably pretty accurate right there.
Everybody you talk to, my gut feeling is, and I think it's obvious, everybody means women.
Also, by the way, the men who would give these women commitment, they don't want these men anyway, right? So this guy is probably pretty correct here as well, because a lot of guys would still probably give her commitment. You know, there are a lot of dudes out here who are willing to simp and give women crap that they don't deserve. But to be honest, they don't really care about the average guy. Even in their 50s, man, they're still shooting for the attractive dudes and the men who don't want them. And of course, there's nothing wrong for trying to get someone who you want to be attracted to, but women's threshold for attractiveness is always just completely ridiculous, especially compared to men's. Well, typically it is anyway.
Not men, women. And you're making assumptions based on what women are telling other women men are thinking, instead of listening to men.
First of all, as if, motherfuckers, like, that ain't happening.
And there's that toxicity I mentioned earlier. As if. Your assumption is that that's what all men are thinking and wanting. That's not the reality, but that's what you're working from. That's the premise.
I mean, I think a lot of the men that these women are chasing, they probably don't want commitment with them at all. I think she actually might be right here, guys. I think she's probably going out and hanging out with dudes who don't want anything serious with her at all. The men who want serious things, oftentimes they get treated like crap. This is what I say on this channel, guys, right? The women, they'll chase the top percentage of men, and then they'll cry and complain and say that all men only want one thing. But the truth of the matter is that those men never wanted anything else in the first place. That really is the case, I think, anyway.
Your assumption is that that's what all men are thinking and wanting. That's not the reality, but that's what you're working from. That's the premise. So why would any man, a good man, ever put himself in that position when the first response you're going to have is as if? Are there cads out there, guys, who would do that? Sure there are, but they are few and far between. But that doesn't matter. What matters is you're going to apply that label to every single man. And then, of course,
yeah, of course they do, right? The reason why they apply the label to every single man is because these are the only men that these women see, right? How many times do you guys see women talk about their dating escapades, as it were? And they're always complaining that, you know, men don't put in any effort and blah, blah, blah. But you know for a fact that a lot of guys would be willing to put in effort. Hey, maybe you're one of those guys watching this video and you still think that putting effort into a woman like this is a good idea. Number one, you must be new here. Welcome. But number two, you know, there are plenty of guys who are willing to have relationships with these women, but the problem is they're average, right? And women don't want average. I think this can be pretty clearly seen, especially in things like women's dating and, you know, swiping preferences on online applications. They really do shoot for the top percentage, gentlemen, and that's where more and more people are meeting each other these days, by the way, is online. Especially these days, I mean, online dating has just gone through the damn roof. People are meeting each other in person less and less. This is also why you hear people, specifically women, complaining that dudes don't approach them anymore. A lot of it's being done online, right? These women who are hitting up the bars and the clubs and things like that, they've already decided what dude they're going to hook up with because they've been messaging him on the application for the past few days on whatever app they're using.
Of course, there's the other side of it. There's women who try and sleep with men on the first date, but we don't talk about them. We label all men, but if you mention even one woman, it's but, it's not us. It's not fair to label all of us like that. It's a huge double standard. And speaking of double standards,
Okay? Now, if you put on your profile, I am not interested in a relationship, and if I buy you dinner, I would like to have sex at the end of the evening. Hey, good on you.
seriously, you actually think guys would do that? Some guys might. Not the guys you want, or is it? Because the guys that would do that, they're the ones with the six-figure incomes, the six-pack abs, the 6-inch you-know-what. And they do that because they can.
Yeah, see, women like to delude themselves into thinking that they have a shot with these men. That's why these dudes don't put it there, because they know that they're not interested in having anything serious with you, okay? But women, you know, they love to daydream and pretend like they might be able to lock down that guy. I have literally seen women destroy their marriages, destroy their relationships, and go out there all in the hopes of locking down one particular dude, right? A dude who very clearly doesn't want a relationship. I love how all of these women, man, right? Where is she? There she is. All of these women, they pretend like it's so damn hard to spot the signs that men don't want to be in a relationship with you. In fact, point in case, I covered a video recently where a woman was complaining, and she was talking about the fact that it was really confusing because a man said he didn't want a relationship with her, but he acted like he was good relationship material. So let me get this straight. Even dudes who go out here and say that they don't want a relationship, the women will still try and lock them down for a relationship if the man's attractive enough. Okay? So, man, women like to pretend all the damn time that dudes are just manipulative and it's just really hard to tell. No, it's not. I guarantee you your father could tell if the man was going to commit to you. But for whatever reason, your radar is completely broken. And apparently, even when men do tell you, no doesn't mean no when it suits you, apparently. Let's continue.
Because they know women will respond to that. The average decent guy, the ones you claim you want, the ones you reject out of hand because they don't fit the sixes, they're not going to post something like that because that's not their expectation.
Oh, I love puppies and picnics in the park, and then you take somebody to dinner and you pull that shit, well, you know what? You're just a dumbass.
And there's the final clue for you. You assume that all guys are like that, so therefore all men are dumbasses. Why would any man want to date someone who thinks that way?
I couldn't have said it better myself. Why would anyone want to date someone who thinks that way? And why would any man want to date a 50-plus-year-old woman who is still struggling to get commitment from men? I mean, that's the real hilarious part of these videos, guys, is even at this age, these women are still so damn delusional that they can't lock down a single man. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.